All right, welcome. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I'm live here with Patrick J. Big news. The Eagles have traded back from 6 to 12 with the San Francisco 49ers. And speaking of the San Francisco 49ers, they have moved up from 12 to 3. So the San Francisco 49ers are going to probably take that quarterback, as Patrick J and I have talked about off air, and they are interested in Trey Lance. Big Play Slay, welcome to the chat. He has already said, screw my life. Guys, I tried to warn you, but we're going to go ahead and definitely get into it today. Dak is King is in the channel. Franklin, I haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome back. So let's just jump through this real quick before I go ahead and introduce Patty J. But it's gonna be Trevor Lawrence at 1. It's probably gonna be Zach Wilson at 2, and it's probably gonna be Trey Lance at 3. The Eagles move back, in my opinion, and it's a brilliant move. Patrick J, welcome today, my brother. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a beautiful day. How you doing, my man?
Good. How you doing, man? How is life?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I feel good. Because I feel like I was treated like a leper yesterday. I feel like I was treated like a leper yesterday. And I felt like, I felt like I was starting to feel a little bit crazy, honestly. Well, one, because I knew I was tired, so there was probably a little bit of delusion going on too. And I did pass out probably around 9:30 because of my fatigue. But after today's news, man, I mean, everybody wants to jump on and say like it's gonna be JC Horn, it's gonna be Quiddy Pay at 12. It's not gonna be either one of those guys. Here's the thing. It's going to be Mac Jones, guys. It's going to be Mac Jones. And I tried to warn you, but here's the beautiful piece of this. The Eagles potentially have 3 first-rounders in 2022. In my opinion, how does Philly 500 like to say it, guys? Beautiful, brilliant move by Howie Roseman. And it's true. It was a brilliant move by Howie Roseman. Because here's the thing, guys. They can take Mac Jones, and we have Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts doesn't feel good about this. How did this play out, Patrick? How did this play out? They wanted Zach Wilson. Yeah, they wanted Zach Wilson. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me do a quick recap, and then let's go to your thoughts, because I know you got a lot to say, and then rightfully so. So I mean, you definitely deserve some kudos for this. So we got a report that first of all, 49ers are moving up to number 3 and then they're sending Dolphins quite a bit of collection of picks. And then right after that, the Dolphins traded back up to number 6 with the Eagles, giving them the Miami's next year's first round pick, along with the number 12 pick they got from San Francisco 49ers. So this is pretty clear. There's been a lot of reports, especially confirmed by Ian Rappaport and Chris Morrison from ESPN, that the Jets are going with Zach Wilson, and then the Eagles indeed were trying to move up to number 3 to get Zach Wilson. That's a huge news. That's a huge piece of information that confirms that they were not sold on Jalen Hurts, and they were willing to move on to Zach Wilson. And then the idea was this: they had a deal lined up with the Niners too, in case the Jets went with. So here's the thing: if the Jets went with Trey Lance or some other positional needs, then Zach Wilson would have been available, and then the Dolphins would have traded with the Eagles so that the Eagles can pick Zach Wilson. Once it got clear that the Jets were going to take Zach Wilson, they took the deal with the 49ers, so the 49ers can indeed take Trey Lance. And then the Eagles, in part, they do get to move back to number 12, but they picked up an extra first-round pick. So I think it's a win-win-win trade for all the teams. This year's draft is kind of clear as far as the focus is concerned on top 6. I think you and I both agree. The 3 quarterbacks that we mentioned are going to go 1, 2, and 3, and the next skill position guys, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, and then Penei Sewell, the tackle, is going to go 4, 5, and 6. So those 6 looks like it's fairly clear. It's going to be we're not sure about the 4, 5, 6 in which order, but it seems like those players are going to be off the board. So it definitely makes it a little bit more exciting. And then I know DB's got a lot to talk about this, but what do Eagles do with number 12? And then what do Eagles do with Jalen Hurts at this point, especially because it's out in the world that the Eagles were trying to move on from him to Zach Wilson already. So there's a lot to talk about. And to answer Franklin just real quick, the Eagles are down. Eagles now have It doesn't change a whole lot of picks as far as this year is concerned. They have still the number 12 overall pick. They have a 37 overall pick in round 2, and they have two third round picks. 70 and 84 from Indianapolis. And they did gain that fourth rounder from Miami at 123. And they got a lot of lower end picks too. So including, I think, 3 6-round picks. They got a lot of picks. So, and then they, like DB said, they have potential of 3 first-round picks next year that can not only be used to gain 3 decent players in the first round, but they can definitely use that as a trade asset too. So, yeah, talk about it, man. What do you think they're going to do at number 12? And then what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I will go there. Yeah, no, I just want to confirm they did give up I think it was a 5th-round pick. It was like 153 or something that they gave up today.
Correct.
But they were definitely interested. We've kind of known that all offseason long is they were definitely interested in getting a 4th because they did not have a 4 coming into the offseason. So there's that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they still have the same amount. But yeah, no, I want to address this because it is huge. It is huge. That's 3 first-round picks, guys. And the conditional piece of that, obviously, as we know, is just the Carson Wentz thing with the Indianapolis Colts. And as most of us in this chat do believe, Carson Wentz is probably going to earn us a first-round pick with being back with Frank Reich. Or at least I believe he will. So here's the thing. Here's where we're at. Here's where I'm at. Franklin, and to say this, to respond to you, we will definitely not take a quarterback. Up until about last week, I was right there with you. Unfortunately, I disagree. I disagree with you on that this go around because they just tried to trade up for Zach. They just tried to trade up for Zach Wilson, and I believe that they're not sold on Jalen Hurts. So there's that. I don't believe they're sold on Jalen Hurts. This doesn't look good for Jalen Hurts. I'm sure Jalen Hurts doesn't feel good about this. And I feel like they have high regard to Mac Jones. I'm not really going to address and say what I said yesterday, but I feel like they're going to go with Mac Jones at pick 12. And here's the thing. They do have a lot of draft capital now. So what they could do, and this is an open conversation, Q&A. You guys can say whatever you want, and we can talk about it. But they can move back into the top 10, Patrick. And the one big thing that I was kind of talking to you off air about is this. We do know now that obviously the Dolphins do have the 6th pick, and right before us is our division rivals. The Cowboys pick at 10, the Giants pick at 11, and now we pick at 12. And if the Dolphins pick a stud at 6, if the Cowboys pick a stud at 10, if the Giants pick a stud at 11, then us Eagles fans are going to be absolutely enraged. So Howie has to make sure that he hits on this 12th overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft, because if he does not, it's going to be absolutely pandemonium. Or if they wanted to, they could definitely move back up. DC Guy, welcome to the channel, my man. I have not seen you in here. Please like and subscribe. Washington football team has traded 19th, 51st, 2020 or 2022 first, 2023 first, 2024. No, they haven't.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, maybe. But as far as like everything, I haven't seen it yet. I'm on like multiple Twitters right now with Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter. I haven't seen anything quite yet, but if that does come true, we'll definitely talk about it. But so far, nothing like that. Yeah,
Dak is King says, funny thing is that 49ers said that Jimmy G is still their quarterback. Yeah, well, the Houston Texans said that Deshaun Watson is still their quarterback. So
when Cliff Kingsbury got hired, they were like, Josh Rosen's our quarterback of the future. And then
I know, I'm pretty sure Chris Mortensen just said about a week and a half ago that Jeffrey Lurie told him that there's not going to be any quarterback competition for Jalen Hurts this year, and they just tried to trade up for Zach Wilson. So there's that too. But what do you guys think? Do you guys actually think that they're still going to go a playmaker? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. In my opinion, it is a brilliant move. It is a brilliant move. And Patrick, I talked to you about this off air because those 3 first-round picks in 2022, and let's just say that they're going to be 3 first-round picks. If they turn into 3 first-round picks, and let's say that they don't take Mac Jones, they do take another playmaker, they could probably move up for the top quarterback prospect in the draft next year. They could probably do that, but I don't think that they will. And you want to know why I don't think that they will? Because that means that they're leaving it up to chance that Jalen Hurts is going to have a bad year. You know what I mean? Like that means that they're gonna be okay with Jalen Hurts having a bad year. If that is their plan, if their plan is to use those 3 first-round picks to move up for the guy next year, there's too many unknowns. That's saying that the team with the worst record is going to give up that pick. 1. 2, it's saying that they're okay with Jalen Hurts having a bad year so that they can move on from Jalen Hurts next year. Not going to do it. Guys, they're going to take a quarterback in round 1 of this year. And unfortunately, I do think I was right yesterday, and I do believe it is going to be Mac Jones. But it's not the end of the fucking world. He's not a bad quarterback. He's just not Zach Wilson. He's just not Trevor Lawrence. We'll see at the end of the day. Time will tell if he's going to be better or as good as Trey Lance. We still don't know. The verdict is still out. In my opinion, I was talking to Patrick J about this, and again, I'm about to say something controversial, but I think that Zach Wilson is the Patrick Mahomes in this draft. Not Trevor Lawrence. Sorry, not Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is the Jared Goff or Carson Wentz of this draft. And I think Zach Wilson will be the Patrick Mahomes of this draft. But, only time will tell. Only time will tell. And I think the Jets are about to get a gem. And I think that's why the Eagles wanted to move up to draft Zach Wilson, because I feel like they feel the same exact way. Big Play Slay says the Niners are doing what the Eagles did in 2016, moving up to 8, then moving up all the way to 2 to get Carson Wentz. Yes and no. The Eagles were in prime position to make that trade with the Dolphins, and they pulled out because the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson. So honestly, the Eagles made that trade happen. And Carson Wentz and Jared Goff were the number 1 and number 2 ranked quarterbacks in that draft. Trey Lance is not in this one. So there's that. Dacus King says, I think the Eagles were smart. They wanted Zach Wilson and did what they could. Jets obviously were sold on it, and they decided to gain something out of it. They can still get a great player at 12. Of course they can, Dak. Of course they can. And I agree with you. Franklin says, I will be upset if we use any of our draft picks for a non-mobile quarterback. Why? I understand. I do. I get it. A lot of the league is going towards a mobile quarterback system, but it's honestly, the league is not going towards mobile quarterbacks. They're going towards hybrid quarterbacks. Like, they're going towards guys who can throw on the run and can improvise. Mobile quarterbacks are Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson has a horrible completion percentage, in my opinion. Colin Kaepernick his completion percentage was not great. Russell Wilson is the exception. Deshaun Watson is the exception. And that's another thing too, guys, that Patrick J and I talked off air about. And Patrick, you can chime in. Patrick?
Yeah. About what? I was waiting for you to finish something.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing too, guys, is, another report that came out of Bleacher Report was the Eagles could be hoarding picks for Deshaun Watson, because as we know, they are monitoring that situation closely still. And 3 first-round picks equals Deshaun Watson. Will it be 3 first-round picks? No, it will be Jalen Hurts plus a couple picks for Deshaun Watson. And Patrick J, you can jump on that as well. And by the way, yeah, let's just go and get this out of the way, just because I was going to, but Big Play Slay just mentioned it. Yeah, the Ravens signed Sammy Watkins. Woo!
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Patrick, you're losing us, my guy. I'm still here, dude. I'm just letting DB talk here for a little bit because I know he has a lot more insight as far as this is concerned. So, but yeah, so they did sign Sammy Watkins. So I think 1 year at $6 million, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Big Play Slay, but yeah, decent signing for them. That gives them another weapon for Lamar Jackson. So that's awesome. Seahawks officially released Ron Reed. That's a pretty big name out there in the D tackle market. So whoever's looking for him, whoever's looking for a bolster up on defensive line, that's a huge help right there too. For anyone that's interested, Zach Wilson also had his pro day. He had an unbelievable throw. I recommend everyone to go watch it. So yeah, then Zach Wilson also talked about it today. I think he knows what's up. I think he knows that something's going on, and I'm sure teams talk. He talked about how exciting it would be to go to the Jets and how awesome it would be. And not a lot of players randomly talk about Jets, so I assume that he knows that he's heading over there too. I'm sure the Jets were in contact with him. So yeah, but Deshaun Watson, that's a. I did see that report too, but I'm a little bit more careful to talk about that too because I did see all the reports that came in from all the Jane Does, and then there are civil lawsuits, but it's pretty intense. It's a pretty rough report, and I mean, I'm on the field where if that's really what happened, I think he shouldn't see the football field again. But if he does clear his name for some reason, if he didn't do it, and if he's available, I mean, the Eagles are in a good position to get that with all those extra picks. But I think I'm leaning more towards at this point that I don't foresee Deshaun Watson playing next year or anytime in the foreseeable future. But I mean, we'll see how it goes with that.
Yeah, I agree. No, and I haven't seen the report, but it's a touchy situation. It's a touchy situation. I think, and I have seen everything up until recently, up until the mid of this week. And if everything is true, yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it should be much more than a suspension, and he should probably be out for a while, if ever again. So that's just not something that I take lightly. I wasn't raised that way, and neither were you. So
right. Yeah, it's a possibility, of course. But I mean, like at this point, I think I'm leaning towards the fact that he's not going to.
No, exactly. And yeah, and and we can go ahead and move on. I don't think that's what they're going to do. But. So we can move on from the Deshaun Watson. We can move on from the Deshaun Watson thing. But I think it's like I said, I think it was a great move. I think it was a great move by Howie Roseman. Honestly, I really do. He got us draft capital, guys. I think this is going to be an interesting year. I think that he's not done. I think that we're about to see some sparks and fireworks. I really do. And to be honest, Dacus King just said, DB, who do you think they take at 12 if not a quarterback? Then who? Jalen Waddle.
You think he lasts that long?
I really don't know. Really don't. I mean, obviously, one of the top 3 wide receivers are going to last that long. I feel like, there's Jamar Chase, there's Devontae Smith, and there's Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. If the Eagles for some reason don't take a QB at 12, it honestly still puts him in a really good spot to take a great player at number 12. So I think that's the reason why that I am really happy with this deal for the Eagles. I think they had their target in Zach Wilson, and once they knew that wasn't going to be an option, they did what they should have done. They move back to number 12 where they can still target the best player that they could have gotten. Maybe they weren't as high on Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts or whoever is concerned that as much as we thought they were. But in the process, they were able to gain another pick next year. And then they can still take the next best player that they wanted to get on their board at number 12. Like whether we agree with it or not, I think that's still a great trade in my opinion, my personal opinion, of course. I personally, that's the thing that I got to give DB credit here for, is that he did call Mac Jones thing, and I'm going to be honest with you about this. Mac Jones might not be a mobile quarterback, but I think he still presents a great option for the Eagles if they go at 12, and I certainly like him at number 12 a lot more than number 6. I wasn't really opposed to the idea of Mac Jones for the Eagles. The thing for me was that I just didn't want him at number 6 because of the value reason wise. And you gotta give Eagles a credit. They wanted Wilson. They tried and they couldn't get it done. It's not their fault. It's just the Jets had their position and they wanted him more. So if indeed the pick is Mac Jones, and they can still take him at 12 and they still gained an extra first round pick. So that's big. I kind of talked about the Colts and Nick Sirianni running a lot of West Coast offense. Mac Jones actually, he's probably one of the better quarterbacks in this draft class to fit into a West Coast offense because of what he's able to bring. He's a very accurate passer. He's got a really good pocket composure, and he's a good decision maker too. So he's got a really natural feel for everything. He has a really good internal clock. If you watch a game, he obviously played at Alabama in a pro style offense, going up against the SEC defenses. He mastered his own offense over there, so he's got a good intangible. And one thing that a lot of people don't know about is that he's a really good character, hardworking guy. All the Crimson Tide coaching staff rave about him. So I think he actually fits really well in with what Nick Sirianni ran over there in the Colts system. And then, like I said yesterday, Sirianni is able to move and allocate his different schemes and plays to accommodate the players that he has. And then he's ran it with Phillip Rivers. He's ran it with Andrew Luck. He's ran it with Jacoby Brissett. So I think he can definitely do different things with different style of quarterbacks. But one thing that was constant is that he does prefer to run that West Coast offense. I think Mac Jones really fits in that really well. So I don't think that's a bad pick at all. And then another thing though, just to answer that question, if they don't take QB at 12, they have a lot of options. I mean, you guys saw what J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain did in their pro days. I mean, you guys could get possibly one cornerback over there. Like an offensive lineman like Rashawn Slater might drop to them. Micah Parsons had an amazing pro day yesterday. And like you said, like DB said, Devontae Smith could be available. Jalen Waddle could be available. Even Rashad Bateman could be available. So I think it was a great deal that they made, and I think they have a lot of options. They have a slew of options, actually, and then I think it just puts the Eagles in a good spot to do so. I know some people are going to disagree because they had a real chance at taking an impact player like Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase, but I think at the end of the day, the Eagles preferred that they could get a player of equal talent at number 12, but they still gained an extra first-round pick, which could be used to either move up or take, like I said, they can use all the ammo to get 3 different players in next year's draft too. So I think it's a win-win deal for everybody.
Yeah, no, exactly, and they still do. They still do. They right. Guys, they have ammo now to move back into the first round. Isn't that what everybody wanted? Everybody wanted the Eagles to be able to move back into the first round. I think this is the first year in a while where that's been actual plausible possibility, because they actually have extra ammo to do it. So if they wanted to grab, let's say an Asante Samuel Jr. or something, because I believe that J.C. Horn's going to go 16 to 20 or somewhere around those lines, like you and I talked about off air and on air, Patrick. Let's say they want to grab one of these edge rushers or something like that, maybe in the 20 to 25 range. They have the ammo to do that and still have that pick at 12. You know what I'm saying? And Big Play Slay says Slater, if he falls, or I'd say they trade back for Bateman. I don't see them trading back again. They might be able to get Bateman at 37. That might be able to happen, or they might need to trade up for Bateman if they really like Bateman. But I really like Kadarius Toney, who might be there at 37. Jalen Hurtsme says Cardinals we're shopping their first round pick if they don't have cornerback there. So we're Titans. I didn't hear about that. Patrick, did you hear about that?
Titans I've heard about. Cardinals I haven't heard that they were gonna move back. They want to move back, but I don't think they were necessarily shopping their first round pick to completely move out of it. But I know the Cardinals are trying to move back. I mean that could be an option if the Eagles are able to entice them with 37 and something else. I mean that might be an option to move back to 16 if there's a couple guys that they want. But I would think that the Eagles are. I think the Titans are more of a better option. I think the Eagles would trade back around the 20s if they were to move back in the first.
Yeah, I don't see them moving back again. I don't see them moving back again. I feel like that would enrage fans even more. Big Play Slay says, would the Pats want Mac Jones and they trade up with us to from 15 to 12? Maybe. I mean, we've talked about that before. I mean, I've talked about Mac Jones being kind of a perfect pairing for Bill Belichick, and I mean that's a possibility. I mean, obviously this is news today, so it's like the reports are fresh, and I don't know. It's possible. That's a possible scenario. I mean, it depends on how much Bill likes Mac Jones, if Bill even likes Mac Jones. That's the thing is based off our conversations before, we're if Bill likes Mac Jones, then maybe. But the huge thing to take away from all of this, guys, and this is going to be huge, is we are a pick behind the Cowboys and the Giants. We are a pick behind the Cowboys and Giants. And we've been screwed by them or at least by the Cowboys in it feels like multiple drafts now. Actually, it was just last year where they took Diggs and they took CD Lamb right before us, and it didn't feel very good to have the Cowboys pick right before us. So I don't know if we want to move back even further. I don't even want to get that thought into my brain. I kind of want to see, Dacus King says, I kind of want to see Mac Jones in this system. I say Mac Jones at 12 and Marshall at 37. What do you feel? How do you feel about that? I like that. Well, I like Mac. I know you I like Marshall, Patrick. So Terrence Marshall. Woo, boy. I would love to see Terrence Marshall on the Philadelphia Eagles midnight green. I'd like to see that. I have a feeling he's going to be a stud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gaining on the Terrace Marshall idea, but I mean, the big question would be like if he's available at 37. But I mean, if they can come away Terrace Marshall at 37, that would be a huge steal in my opinion. He was always seen as the other guy in that LSU offense, unfortunately, because of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. But I mean, he put up a lot of numbers over there. He's a very versatile receiver. He has proven himself both in the slot and the outside, so he can do both, and he can really attack on all levels of the field with consistency. He's got really good size. I think that's one thing that DB is really huge on. He's at 6'3", 200 pounds, so he's got really good size. He's got good physicality, good ball skills. He's got good run after catch ability. So he's going to be a feature receiver as long as he's given an opportunity to do so. I think it's just going to come down to if he's going to be available at 37. But I mean, yeah, if he's available at 37, go for it. You should go for it.
I agree. You know what's interesting is we really have to look at it this way, okay? Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are not upset. I mean, sorry, they are upset. They're incredibly upset. So I apologize. Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are extremely upset, and they're uncomfortable. They're embarrassed. They screwed Carson Wentz, but Carson Wentz screwed them too. Carson Wentz forced their hand, man. They expected him to be a part of this team in 2021. They do not want to make the same mistakes that they made with Carson Wentz. They do not want to do it. Not again. But my hunch is this, and just like Patrick J, and Patrick J will agree with me, is I don't think Jalen Hurts is that guy. I don't think that they think Jalen Hurts is that guy. I think that it is going to be Mac Jones. But what if they overcompensate for the mistakes that they made by fixing the mistakes with Carson Wentz, with getting another Alabama guy, and they take Mac Jones at 12 because they have the capital to move back into the first round, right? And they get get one of these. They trade up for like a Najee Harris,
right? Yeah, and then I mean, it honestly gives Eagles a lot of option, and I actually recommend. There was an article from Philadelphia Inquirer today with from Jeff McLean, I believe, that the title reads it clearly: trade establishes Jalen Hurts as a starting quarterback for now, but also that the Eagles are ready to act if he isn't. That's honestly the truth right there. Is that it does establishes him as a quarterback for now, but Eagles definitely gained a lot of picks. So in the future, if he doesn't work out for some reason, they are able to utilize all those assets that they have to get someone else. But then Eagles at number 12 are still able to take someone else. I mean, and then there's another good report from Pro Football Focus that said Eagles show commitment to Jalen Hurts for now. And all these articles, what they have in common is for now, because we don't know. It seems like that the Eagles, obviously, by moving back to 12, they're like, okay, we're not going to take quarterback at 6. But who's to say they're not going to take a quarterback at number 12? Bleacher Report just came out today after all this trade saying that the quarterback needy team should be desperately trying to call the Eagles for Jalen Hurts. And they should. They should, because I think he's
and I saw that. Yeah. I want to touch on that too. So I saw that as soon as they traded back, I saw those reports start to come out. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? They just tried to trade up for Zach Wilson, and you and I were talking about this as this was going on, and that's when the Mac Jones stuff started to come up. Well, today anyway. That's when the Mac Jones stuff today started to come up. And I was like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't really change the status of Jalen Hurts at all. It doesn't really change the status of Jalen Hurts at all. The truth is this. At first, they wanted a quarterback competition. They wanted that quarterback competition to be between Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz. That's it. Carson Wentz didn't want that. Carson Wentz forced his way out of here. And if they take Mac Jones at 12, Jalen Hurts doesn't have to do anything but compete, which Jalen Hurts is used to. Jalen Hurts is used to adversity. But here's the thing. You and I have talked about this off air, is yes, it does make him open to being traded. And if that is what's needed to gain additional draft picks, say you like a guy that you want to go ahead and trade up for, I would pull the trigger if I were them. But honestly, it doesn't really change the status of Jalen Hurts whatsoever right now. Not right now. It doesn't. So the word commit is the operative word, honestly, in this entire thing, Patrick, and should be voided from each headline of each one of those articles, because there is no commitment quite yet to anybody.
There isn't, and there shouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah, there shouldn't be. You got to keep your options open, and I think they are doing the smart thing by doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and so that's the thing, is I think that, and we talked about this at the beginning of the week or last week, I don't remember, but I think that they're going to, I think it was the beginning of the week because they brought in Joe Flacco. They're going to still bring in a guy that's gonna be like pressing the buttons. He's gonna press your buttons. He's gonna be like, yo, bro, I'm here, and I think that guy is going to be Mac Jones. Big Play Slay says Rashad Bateman, Pro Bowler. You heard it here first. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I agree with you, Slay.
I absolutely agree.
And Kadarius Toney, I agree. I think both players for me are neck and neck. Honestly, I think both players are really, really exceptional. Bateman is going to be a stud, says Dak is king. He's going to be a stud. Got to do it in the old action figure voiceover. He is going to be G.I. Joe. Moore is so now we're talking about Rondell Moore. Yeah, Rondell Moore, he's going to be a good player too, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, I mean, I like him. This is a deep wide receiver class. Like I have a buddy who who was worried about the trade back, and his first comment to me off air oh, I guess we'll never have a 1,000-yard wide receiver. And I'm just like, well, what do you mean, man? Like they could still take Waddle, they could still take, Devontae Smith, they could, blah, blah, blah. Like both guys are going to be good. Like, it's not just Chase or Devontae Smith. Like Waddle's going to be good too. Rashad Bateman or Kadarius Toney, or like I even have high regard for Tylan Wallace out of Oklahoma State. You know what I mean? So like, but it's a deep wide receiver class, Patrick. I mean, I think that like you and I really haven't gotten there yet. And guys, like we're going to get there. We're going to talk about this draft class more. So we're not like holding the Cheerios from you guys at all. We're definitely going to get there. We're going to sprinkle some cinnamon in our honey honey bunches of oats. You know what I mean? It is a deep class, is it not?
It's a deep class. It's an extremely deep class. It's an extremely deep class. And then, Rondell Moore, that's a thing that says a lot about it, because Rondell Moore, I'm very high on him too. But the fact that he's actually designated as a 3rd or 4th round talent in this draft is insane. That shows you a lot about how deep this class is. I think a lot of people are concerned about his size because he's only 5'9", but he's honestly one of the most electric prospects in this whole draft. He's a gifted athlete. He was a true freshman over in Purdue when he came out to really play. But he's really versatile. He's got really good hands. He's almost like a Swiss Army knife. He can do anything. He can be a great return specialist. He can be a rotational guy. He can fit into any offensive game plan. So he's really going to be a good receiver, especially in the spread offense. But yeah, it says a lot about this class. The fact that Moore is projected to go at 3rd or 4th round. So I totally agree. You're still able to pick an amazing receiver later down the road, whether it's a 3rd or 4th round. If you don't go that route, the first or 2nd round, you know what I mean? So I absolutely agree with you on that.
Yeah, exactly. And even Jalen Darden, which you and I talked a little bit about off air, who's out of Central Michigan, I think he's out of Central Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Like he reminds me a lot of Tyreek Hill. You and I talked about a little bit about this, but we haven't really gone into depth about him, which I would love to do, which we will do, guys. We're gonna definitely highlight specific guys, especially some of our sleeper favorites.
Draft is one of my favorite things, so we'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kicking off, guys. Today, obviously, like today was the day, and there's always that day. There's always that day every single year. There's always that day that kicks off the shit, and this is the day. Today is the day. So
today's the day.
Today's the day. Because here's the thing. Teams needed to know what it's gonna take to move up, and the 49ers did just that. And then the Dolphins did just that with, because the Dolphins got 6 from the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
How did this trade work out? This trade was really fucking confusing.
So
it was a 3-way trade, wasn't it? A 3-way trade?
No, it was a 2 separate trade, but it kind of worked out that way. So, how it happened was that at first, so the Dolphins traded their number 3 pick over to the 49ers, and they gained their 2022 pick,
right,
and then their 2023 first round pick from the 49ers. So they gained quite a bit from the Niners that way. And then they turned around and then traded the Eagles the number 12 overall pick, and then the number 123 overall, and then their 2022 first round pick, their own one, for the number 6 overall pick from the Eagles and number 156 overall. Go ahead.
Yeah. Point being is today was the day we got an example of what it will take outside of the point outside of the point system, and so that's why today is the day. Today's the day. You know what I mean?
Today's a good day.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal day. It's
It's a good
phenomenal.
day.
DB is well rested. Guys, I fell asleep at 9:30 last night. I feel good. Patrick J, I can tell you're feeling good, man. It's
I feel
Friday,
real good. I
everybody.
mean, it's dude, and it's exciting when you get this kind of news coming out. Um,
Yeah.
I honestly one thing that I like to throw in there is I was honestly really surprised that all these pick trades are happening so early. Usually, like people kind of wait until they see the board play out. You know how everything's going to go, but it seems like that these teams are pretty clear on who's going to go at first couple picks. So yeah, I was surprised that these are going real early because if I were the Niners, if I wanted Trey Lance, normally you would kind of wait and see what the first two picks, how it goes, and if he's available, then you'll make the call and make that trade. But it seems like everybody's pretty confident how the board's going to play out in the first couple picks. So I mean that's also something interesting in my opinion.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, the Eagles back in 2016, they operated pretty early, but they had quite a few moves to make to move up to 2.
Right.
But it just furthermore, it just kind of proves the point that I think that a lot's gonna get pretty crazy this offseason. But here, let's go ahead and move on to some of these questions. Jalen Hurts me says, DB, would you be mad if the Eagles stick with Hurts hypothetically? No, of course not. I want them to stick with Hurts. I want them to stick with Jalen Hurts. I want them to draft playmakers for Jalen Hurts. Here's the thing. I loved Zach Wilson. I really do. I love the fact that and I honestly think that, and I kind of had this feeling that the Eagles were that mystery team that had Zach Wilson rated above Trevor Lawrence. Unfortunately, Patrick, because Howie Roseman, that sounds like a Howie Roseman board. It just does. And so that's why they were wanting to make that move. But they and so like I saw a little bit of Patty Mahomes in Zach Wilson, and I still do. And so like obviously I'm not saying he's gonna be Patty Mahomes, but I think he's gonna be really, really good. And so I wanted a guy to come in and compete with Jalen Hurts. Guys, we haven't seen enough out of Jalen Hurts. We haven't. But I am really excited about the progression, and I'm really excited about Jalen Hurts. Like I want it to be Jalen. And I wanted us to get Kyle Pitts, and I wanted us to get Rashad Bateman at pick 37, or Terrence Marshall, or Kadarius Toney. Like I wanted us to get playmakers for the guy. Like I just wanted us to fucking do it. Just go out and fucking get playmakers for your quarterback that you're gonna build around. Like stop fucking around. You know what I mean? But the Eagles don't feel like he's the guy moving forward. And so to answer your question, Jalen Hurts me. No, I wouldn't be mad. In fact, I want it to be him. I hope it's Jalen. I really do. I hope Jalen becomes the guy. But
you shouldn't be upset with it. I think Jalen Hurts has a lot to offer still. It's all speculatory on our part of what we were saying, but Jalen Hurts has a lot to offer, like DB said, and then it should be. I'm excited to see what he does, whether it's for the Eagles or someone else. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback to sit in the NFL. So,
agreed. And Dacus Kings brings up a really great point, phenomenal point. All the teams that were going for Watson would try and trade for Jalen Hurts. Now that's also going to be good for the Eagles to gain some extra assets.
Very good point.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's quite on that. I mean, obviously he's not on that level yet, but I mean, he's shown some phenomenal flashes, though, Patrick.
Yeah. He's definitely not on that level, and then it's going to be foolish of the Eagles to expect that kind of return, obviously. But it's pretty clear that Deshaun's not going to get traded just because of all the legal issues that he's going through, and he shouldn't. So all those teams that were kind of putting all their eggs in that basket, I mean, they should be happy that another mobile quarterback like Jalen Hurts is going to be available if he indeed is. And then that bodes well for the Eagles, too, in that situation. If they do decide to go with some other route, the Eagles are going to have a lot of interest in that route, too. So I think it's not a bad – I think the Eagles, honestly, to put it clearly, in my opinion, they put themselves in a position to succeed, in my opinion, more than they did yesterday. So I think that's one thing that I'm really happy about as far as Eagles are concerned. Whether we agree with what players they're going to take, what they could have done at number 6, I think we can all agree that they put themselves in a really good position to be successful.
For sure. No, and I completely agree. I completely agree with you. I think because honestly, they could go with Jalen Hurts, or they could go with another quarterback they draft at 12, and if he doesn't pan out, it's fine. It's kind of like what I was just saying is they could keep both quarterbacks on the roster and then just completely rebuild. They can add in the second and third and fourth and whatever, and then completely rebuild and then continue the complete rebuild next year. The thing is this.
Right.
They did a phenomenal job of saying, hey, we can either see this thing rebuild in 2 years and very quickly,
Right.
or it's going to take maybe 3 to 4, and that's what that's the standard, and we're okay with either one. But here, let's go ahead and so Big Place A agrees with the Jalen Darden thing. I do too. PFF has him climbing up the board. I think last time I checked, he's ranked 87, which would surprise me, Patrick. Because I still overall, and
yeah, I still see him going a little bit later, but yeah, he's a dynamic guy, but like
I do too.
Yeah, he's more of a slot guy. Also, like, and then the guys that are more like primed to be a slot guy don't usually go that high. But yeah, he's going to be I mean, for a team that has so many draft picks in the late round, like the Eagles do, I think they have 2 5th, 3 6th, and 2 7th. Definitely take a flyer on a guy like Jalen Darden.
Yeah, because we got a couple of comp picks. We got the the Marquise Goodwin pick back. So
exactly.
And they're still waiting out for that third for Zach Ertz too. So there's that. Honestly, guys, and you guys might not agree with this, but they're in rebuild mode. And I was thinking this the other day, and look, this isn't going to be the attractive. This is going to be the attractive topic of the day, but I got to throw in one at you. Fletcher Cox has not been Fletcher Cox for 3 years, and Fletcher Cox is getting old. If we're in rebuild mode, see what you can get for Fletcher Cox before the whole Zach Ertz scenario happens with Fletcher Cox, where we can't get what he's worth. Why not? Why not? Anybody want to answer that for me? Why not? Why not? Why not? You get extra picks, you trade back up, you get Christian Barmore. Boom. Do it. Or you get a fucking Tefeli, whatever his name is. What's his name, Patrick?
What?
Was it Jay Tefeli? The other DT prospect that you like?
Me?
Yeah.
In this NFL draft?
Yes, sir.
I like a lot of defensive lineman prospects. Let's see. I do like Jay. I do like what are we talking about though in terms of just any defensive tackles?
No, I mean, yeah, well, yes, but we don't have to really go. We don't have to go through it. We can, but my point is this: it's time. It's time to Like it's time to take a sledgehammer.
To replace Fletcher Cox.
Yes, sir.
Yes, oof, that's tough, man. He's a legend over there in the Eagles, dude. But he hasn't been himself, and you have to learn to move on. And that's kind of like what everyone in Arizona has been talking about, because Larry Fitzgerald hasn't talked about coming back yet, and then everyone's like dreading that day that Larry Fitzgerald hangs it up. But you have to learn to move on. And then it is true that Fletcher Cox hasn't been himself, and you have to think about the life after him. And then you have to think about his cap hit coming forward and after the June 1st deadline. So, I mean, if there is a presentable option for you to move on from him we might
even be already talking about this.
Right. And then they should. It's honestly,
I think they could still get a second. I think they could still get a second right now, as it stands right now.
Exactly. Like you said, it's not going to be an easy topic to talk about. But the Eagles, as a rebuilding team, they have to be ready to move on at any point.
And this is why we find ourselves in cap situations. But here's another perfect thing, guys, by the way. Another reason why Howie Roseman did a phenomenal job today is because the Eagles have the possibility of having $60 million in cap to spend in free agency next season, plus the 3 first rounders. Like, there's that too. But we can jump back on the Fletcher Cox talk. Hey, it rhymes, so it must be true. That's what I tell my customers to make them feel good. Just kidding. Yeah, no. So I mean, I feel like right now you could get a second round. You could get a second round pick for Fletcher Cox, and I honestly think if a team calls, maybe it's the Seahawks. Who knows? They should make a move. You know, they should make that move. I believe you could still get it like a second and maybe like a fourth or a fifth or something like that for Fletcher Cox. He's still a good player. You know, it's just that next year he might not be. He's starting to get hurt, guys. Last 2 years, he's missed a few games, and he didn't used to do that. Hey, question. Big Play Slay says, hey, question. Are you guys live streaming the NFL draft? I do definitely want to. Patrick, what about you, buddy? You wanna
I'd be down to do that. Yeah, NFL draft is something that I'm really passionate about, so I'd be down to do that. It'll be hard to live stream 4 hours of it, but we for sure will try our best to do most of it.
Yeah, we can definitely do. I mean, it's gonna be. We'll definitely do a little bit of the first round. No, we'll definitely do the first round. We can do the first round. And maybe a little bit, maybe a normal stream on Saturday and Sunday like we usually do.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
we can kind of like recap. We'll live stream. Let's say we are going to live stream the first round, and then the next few days we'll do it at our normal time, which would be right around the draft is going on, and we can kind of talk about it as we go. But me and him both study a lot about these prospects, so it'd be really interesting to talk about where they go and their fits and stuff like that. So that's an exciting idea.
Exactly. Big Play Slay, don't you worry. We will have something cooked up. I promise. Don't worry about it. You're asking me questions too early, but it's all right. Jalen Hurts says, could you guys give me what you think how the draft will go up to top 12 after the trade? Yeah, sure. Patrick, obviously, Jaguars.
Top 6 are easy. I mean, we talked about it. I don't think we have to recap. You know, 3 quarterbacks: Pitts, Sewell, Chase. We agree.
Yeah.
See, and this is where it gets interesting. Number 7, I think D and I both agree that it's the Lions are going to take a skill guy on defense. I think they're going Micah Parsons or Caleb Farley, but who knows? But then DB brought up a good point. 8 and 9, they both need a quarterbacks. Panthers and the Broncos. So,
and this is where we could see a Jalen Hurts thing happen. So that's what I'm saying is like, this is another scenario that I brought up too, guys, is we know that like I'll say again, we know because it's important. The Cowboys pick at 10, the Giants pick at 11, the Eagles pick at 12 as it stands right now. But we do have Jalen Hurts and the Panthers picking at 8 and the Broncos picking at 9. You know, if either one of those teams are interested in Jalen Hurts, I mean, if the Eagles want to offer a first round pick, and Jalen Hurts, you know, what do you think that gets them, Patrick?
I don't know. It just depends on, in my opinion. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts necessarily gets you 8 or 9. Like you said, I think you would have to tie some picks in with them to gain that. It just really depends on, like you said, there are a couple teams at this point. Just looking at the draft board, there's going to be Panthers. There's going to be a Broncos team that's going to need a quarterback. There's going to be a Bears team, presumably, that needs a quarterback. There's also going to be the Patriots team that's looking for a quarterback. So you're looking at like number of teams that's needing a quarterback, and and then we haven't even talked about the Texans. Texans don't even have a first round pick, and they need a quarterback too. So there's a lot of teams that needs a quarterback, and they don't have there's not a whole lot of supplies to go around anymore. Obviously, we can talk about Jimmy Garoppolo that's going to be available. We can talk about some of the other guys that's going to be presented as an option for these quarterback needy teams. But at the end of the day, there's there's not a lot of prospects that's going to be as exciting as Jalen Hurts. So I think his value is going to be fairly high going in. I highly doubt that he nets you, like an 8 or 9 pick, but like for some of these other teams, I think if the Eagles want to move back in later on, like for a team like the Patriots or someone like that, they for sure should be able to use Jalen Hurts to move in if they go quarterback at number 12. But yeah, it's an interesting layout right now because with 8 and 9, the Panthers and Broncos, they both need a quarterback, and then at this point, I think that Justin Fields and Mac Jones are the only two that's available. So, I have a hard time believing that like neither of these teams are interested in Jalen Hurts if he is available. So they might pony it up, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Honestly, if I were the Eagles, I would throw in that conditional one and one of my thirds this year and Jalen and see if that could net me 8.
That would be an amazing trade if you could. Yeah. I mean, I would throw it
from
out
the
there.
Colts, the conditional one from the Colts.
Yeah.
Because
I would throw it out there for sure.
Because that's not a bad trade. One, Jalen Hurts going to the Panthers is not a bad idea at all. Him playing with Christian McCaffrey, like that just sounds absolutely phenomenal. And then you still have the ability, if they take Mac Jones at 12, you have the ability to get one of these. Like I said, they might overcompensate for their mistakes, and they might try to get another playmaker from Alabama for Mac Jones. And this is if Mac Jones is the guy, and maybe they can still find a Jalen Waddle or a Devontae Smith at 8. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I think that would be ideal. I think them, honestly, in my opinion, them moving back in the first round at all is ideal. I really like the fact that you brought up the Patriots, because here is the interesting thing. Bill Belichick is not going to think that Cam Newton is the long-term solution at all. But Cam Newton does have this. He does have a commonality in Jalen Hurts, where he's a mobile hybrid quarterback, and would probably be a good guy to bounce off of with Jalen Hurts and teach Jalen. And then at some point down the line, they can hand the reins over to Jalen, and Jalen's studying under Bill Belichick, and Jalen's got 2 new tight ends to throw to. Jalen's got this, Jalen's got that, Jalen's got this, Jalen's got that, Jalen's got some of the best teachers in a phenomenal franchise and organization. 15, having picked 15 could net them another cornerback as well. These are all great things to think about. I really do think the board is laid out, like you said, in a weird way. And I don't think it's going to stay this way, especially the top 10. The top 10 is going to get weird. The top 10 is going to have a party before we're all
top 10 is going to have a lot of more. I feel like this is not the last time we saw a trade in top 10. It's gonna jump around a lot.
I agree.
And yeah, it's I feel like we're in for a lot of different changes, honestly.
Yeah. And here's the other thing too. Before we answer this question, I want to touch on this just to preface it. Is you mentioned the Texans, and yeah, you're right. I'm completely forgetting about the Texans. Is the Eagles don't have? I think the Eagles are still in a mode where they're trying to acquire as many picks as possible. That's clear. It's clear. They have 2 3s. They just got a 4. And we know this for a fact. They didn't want a the conditional 2 next year to be next year. They wanted it to be this year. The one that they got for Carson, they wanted that to be this year. So Jalen's probably not worth a first round pick alone, right? But is Jalen Hurts? Do you think Jalen Hurts increased his value enough to still be worth a second round pick, and maybe a little bit more due to the fact that the Houston Texans are going to need a quarterback. And would they throw that out at the, or would that be a plausible possibility for the Texans and the Eagles to do something?
Well, it comes down to supply and demand. You know, if you're like just naturally looking at Jalen Hurts' trade value, I think he has a ceiling of. I think the teams will throw around the second round draft pick for him just because of his talent and what he's shown as a prospect last season. And then at the end of the day, like it comes down to, like I said, supply and demand. If you really think about it, taking out those top three quarterbacks, I mean, you have Justin Fields, and then more of a question marks in Mac Jones, and then Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe Russell Wilson, maybe Tua. So you don't really have a lot of quarterbacks that are available, and then there's more demand for quarterbacks rather than the supply. So obviously, it's naturally going to increase the value of Jalen Hurts too. So I think it's realistically an option. And if I were the Eagles, like I said, I think this goes back to the reason why I said they put themselves in a really good position to succeed. Is they have options now. They have a lot of options now. They can kind of play the field and see where it goes. And I honestly, I would rather be in a position that the Eagles are in right now than yesterday, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. And Dacus King says, Patrick and DB, gut feeling, do you think Watson plays another game in the NFL? Gut feeling, no.
If this is true, he shouldn't at all. Right. If this is true, and it seems like it's true, unfortunately, then he shouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah, I agree. I concur. Dak is king. Cowboys going to take Mac Jones just to troll the Eagles. Yeah, they would do that because they're fucking dumb. Because Jerry Jones is senile. I'm just kidding. It's not funny. You shouldn't say that. But yeah. Just kidding. What you think about Jimmy G, says Jalen Hurts me. I personally don't like Jimmy. I mean, it's not that I don't like Jimmy G. I don't want Jimmy G. I think he is an upgraded version of Alex Smith, in my opinion. And I think that they paid him way too quickly. And I think everybody gets a little bit of a disillusion because of the fact that the 49ers paid him too quickly. Like he's some franchise quarterback. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I think he spent a few seasons under New England system, and some of that carried over to San Francisco, and I just don't see it. No chance. Exactly. Dacus King says, no chance. I agree. He's responding to Jalen Hurts me, who says, do Eagles have any chance of winning NFC East next season? There's always a chance, Dak. There's always a chance. You want to know why there's a chance? Because the Cowboys always fall on their faces at the end of the season. That's why.
There's always a chance. Very small chance. Very small chance. But it's
not very small. You have to understand our division, though. It is pretty small. It's pretty
small chance.
It's pretty small.
I'm very high. I mean, no offense, Dak, but I'm very high on Washington football team. Cowboys are going to be good, but yeah, Washington, that's a team that scares you.
Yeah, no, I'm more worried about them than the Cowboys. But I'm worried about the Cowboys too. Look, guys, I've said this before. I feel like our division is going to be a lot tougher this year. Joe Judge is going into his second season as the New York Giants head coach. They're getting Saquon Barkley back, things of that nature. They've made some good offseason moves so far. Despite them overpaying for Kenny Golladay and Adoree Jackson, those are good moves. Those are good additions to the team. Dan Quinn coming in to coach the Cowboys defense is going to be good. They're getting Dak back and things of that nature. I feel like he'll be okay, even though he is coming back from injury, things of that nature as well. Washington football team, they are my winners in free agency. I said this the other day. Them adding Curtis Samuel as a part of that weaponry arsenal and to be another playmaker there outside of Scary Terry is gonna be a good one. And then adding to that defense and William Jackson the third, that's adding elements, another scary element to an already scary defense. It's just kind of unfair. So they're gonna be good. And the Eagles, the Eagles are the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles are the Eagles. I know this is an Eagles channel, but Dak is king. You are a Cowboys fan. Our division is always tough when it comes to divisional games. So there's always a chance. That's why I say there's always a chance. It's always a knockout, drag out, brawl, last one standing, each one of those games. And that's why those are so fun. That's why they pull at your heartstrings and everything like that. So Jalen Hurts me says, "Are you guys from Philadelphia?" I was born in Philadelphia. Patty, go ahead.
No, I was born in Georgia, but I grew up in Brooklyn. That's my love for the Jets, unfortunately.
Dak is King says, "I honestly like the Eagles. They are like brothers that I need to hate." I know.
Why do you have to hate him? Why do you have to hate him?
Because he's a Cowboys fan. It's like Cain and Abel. You know what I mean?
Ooh, biblical.
Just playing. Who do you see the Eagles targeting next free agency? Dak, I don't even want to go there right now. Don't even take me there. Don't take me there.
Eagles have a lot of money next season. So
60 mil. I know. Yeah. I know.
There's a lot of UFAs next season. What do you guys need? Everything.
Everything. Cornerback, safeties, linebackers.
I think a lot of older guys are available, like superstar guys, though, like Von Miller, I think, is a free agent. Chandler Jones from the Cardinals is a free agent. Tyrann Mathieu is also a free agent. Gosh, there's a lot. Stephon Gilmore is a free agent. Jason Pierre-Paul, JPP, Calais Campbell, they're all free agents, I believe. And you got some offensive guys like Allen Robinson's going to be a free agent again. Chris Godwin, Devontae Adams. But I mean, there's a lot of options. It's a good offseason for the Eagles to have a lot of money, actually. And that's just the top tier guys. I mean, some guys like Tyler Lockett's going to be a good option for you. Malik Jackson, the D tackle. I mean, we can go on, but I mean, yeah, like DB said, it's way too early. But there's a lot of guys coming available, though.
Yeah, all those guys are getting older. We need to get younger.
They are.
We need to get younger. That's why I don't want to focus on free agency. Von Miller is not 25 anymore. Malik Jackson we just had for 2 years. Stephon Gilmore is not 25 anymore. Tyler Lockett I would take. Devontae Adams I would take. But out of that list that Patrick J just graciously listed, even Calais Campbell, like I wouldn't take him. Would even take Chandler Jones. I wouldn't take half any of those guys. Guys, this is very important to listen to. Is we did this 3 years ago. We cannot make the same mistakes we made 3 years ago. And we cannot overspend. Miles Sanders is going to want a new contract. You know what I mean? If Jalen Reagor does well in Nick Sirianni's system, he's going to want another one in a couple of years. We'll have to redo Travis Fulgham. If Travis Fulgham breaks out, like we hope that he does, he'll need a new contract. Like we got to focus on taking care of our own guys first. Exactly. Jalen Hurts me just says, let's just build our team through the draft. Exactly. And we have to really focus on that because Howie Roseman is horrible at that, but he can get the capital. He just needs to make sure that he makes the right moves. And I honestly don't think Mac Jones is a bad move. we're gonna start talking a lot about Mac Jones. We really are, because I think that he's going to be the move. Unfortunately, fortunately or fortunately, we're gonna find out. We're gonna go deep. We're gonna do deep dives into Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones and me. It's phenomenal.
He breaks out in songs a lot, guys. I'm sure you guys know.
I'm actually a lot better singer than that, though. I really am. Just ask
is.
Patrick J.
He is.
There we go. DB, no, is DB ignoring you today? No, Big Play Slay. Of course I'm not ignoring you. Attack is king. I'm sorry, but if I wasn't an Eagles fan, I would hate this team to death. Yeah. Well, he can't, Big Play Slay. He can't. The Eagles are so likable. Plus, we're the country bird. We represent the country bird. You know what I mean? Whoop, whoop. Dak is... Jalen Hurtsby says, I'm on the Mac Jones train. Yeah, me too, bro. Here's the thing about Mac Jones, guys. The other thing, Patrick J mentioned this a little bit before, is going up against tough competition. Yeah, he went up against tough competition. I talked about this when I did the wide receivers thing, is like Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, like they saw press man. They saw many different types of defenses. Guess who else saw different types of defenses? Guess what that means? It means Mac Jones saw different types of defenses too. So there's that. Wouldn't you agree, Patrick?
I like I said, I like Mac Jones. He fits in really well with the West Coast offense. I think Sirianni is going to run, so I am on that train. I mean, here's the thing. I think Mac Jones is going to be a great quarterback, and I'm going to save like my actual analysis on him for later on. I mean, I did kind of touch on it, the reasons why I think he's going to be a really good fit for him, but if the Eagles go that route, I don't think the Eagles are going to be disappointed. And ideally, you want to take care of that quarterback situation, whether you go with Hurts or Jones. You kind of want to commit to them and see what they can really do. And then next season, when you have all that capital, you know what kind of guys to bring in and really surround them with the right talent. So, like I said, I think the Eagles are in a good position to. They put themselves up for success, in my opinion. That's the best way to put it.
Yep, exactly. I agree. It's like when you're playing Witcher and you think that like the witches convince the children that they're on the trail of treats or something like that. And they think that that's like if you do something bad, like you just go on the trail of treats. And then you're the Witcher, right? So, or no, you play as Siri, and then you realize, oh, the Trail of Treats isn't actually what the children think that it is. It's like that.
Yes.
Just like that. Guys, it is so like that. I'm just playing. But yeah, no. So I mean, just to break on this real quick. I mean, I think just to touch on what Patrick just said is yeah, I think we set ourselves up really well. And honestly, if it wasn't going to be Zach Wilson, then I think that this was the best move that it possibly could have done. It's possible that the Eagles got a hint that maybe the Bengals and Jamar Chase were going to be taken before 6. It's possible. Falcons could take one of those guys. And maybe they were interested in one of those guys. At the end of the day, if that's the case, then the Eagles made the best move. You know, they couldn't get Zach Wilson. They couldn't get Chase. They couldn't get Pitts. So they traded back and gained extra draft picks. And then they can take the second best player on their board. The second best player on their or the third best player. Maybe it's the third best player on the board. Maybe it's that Mac Jones. We don't know, but I have a hunch that it is going to be Mac Jones, but we'll see.
It's like I said, good position to be in my opinion. So
yeah. Before we go, I have one more thing to talk about. First off, I never said that we were going. So slay.
What's he talking about?
We went from him and I today, by the way, Patrick, just to fill you in. You can scroll back through the chat but him and I went from reading each other's minds today. So him and I had a little, telepathy going on. Him and I went from reading each other's minds to me ignoring him to him thinking that, we're leaving. It's not true. It's not factual. It's not factual, Slay. It's not factual. Okay. Why don't you go run off to Patrick J? How about that?
I always got his back right here. I always got his back.
Oh, I'm aware. Slay says, "What are your guys' thoughts with what the Dolphins did today?"
Amazing.
Yeah, I personally, I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot.
They are smart. They stockpiled future picks and they ensured themselves of getting a great player. They kind of let the board play itself out. They know that run of quarterbacks are going to be happening earlier with the Jaguars and the Jets, and they knew that their number 3 pick was coveted from 2 teams, more than that probably from the Niners and the Eagles, and they took advantage of that. And then they were also able to, use the Eagles, willingness to trade back to gain, to move up to 6. So they actually gained more picks. And then they ensured themselves of getting a great player. Like I said, the next 3 guys that can the next 3 guys can all help the Dolphins out, whether it's Chase or Sewell or Pitts. And then honestly, the Dolphins can let the board play out and they can get whoever's available at the end of the day. And they still get that great player and they still come out with extra picks because they'll have an extra first rounder, an extra third rounder. That's a really, really well-ran organization right now, starting from the coaching staff and Brian Flores all the way up to their GM. So great move. I think it's a win-win-win trade for honestly all 3 teams. I think the Eagles really put themselves in a great position. Like I said, Dolphins really did come out really well. And the 49ers did sacrifice a lot. But, I mean, if they are sold on Trey Lance being their future of the quarterback, I think they did really well too. So I think it's a win-win-win.
Yeah, I agree. And Big Place says, well, you guys ended yesterday really quick, so I can say that is factual. LOL. Well, it's not factual today. Yesterday we did end yesterday quickly. I do apologize about that. I just want to say I was completely exhausted. So I apologize about that, guys. Yeah. So, but today that's not the case. Today's Q&A, man. Today's Q&A. You guys keep shooting, we'll keep going. And I've got my phone right next to me, so I'm on the clock as far as updates are concerned. I'm thinking that something's gonna go down. I feel like the Eagles should trade Zach Ertz today. I don't even care if it's gonna happen tomorrow, but they should do it today because I said so. That's what I feel like. What about you, Patrick? Think they should do something?
Dude, I feel like Zach Ertz should have been traded like 2,000 years ago.
I know, like it should have been
I'll fly to Philadelphia and I'll drive him wherever he wants to go at this point, dude. I'm like, let's just go.
I feel like the Babylonians wrote about Zach Ertz. You know what I mean? Like,
God, yeah, the Phoenicians when they invented English or whatever language, they probably wrote about him that long ago, dude. So,
what the fuck is going on? It's like a King Nebuchadnezzar over here.
Let's move him.
It's like, what do you say to David? Oh yeah, hey Ertz, you know that guy? Well, guess what? We're keeping him.
Dude, watch him still be wearing the Eagles uniform by the time this rolls around.
It's like it just doesn't. So it doesn't make sense. I should probably continue. I should probably complete one thought before I move on to the next. Word vomit, guys. Don't do it. Tastes bad. Just kidding. So I explored a scenario. With you off air. The Eagles do want Zach Wilson. And I know you don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, but I'm going to because I have the 10-foot pole. It hides in my closet, and so
what do you use it for?
Huh?
What do you use it for, bro?
Oh, I'm secretly an assassin.
Ooh.
I don't get paid or anything. I tried. There's a website. There's a website. You have to it's a secret. It's a secret sign up though. It's like a private sign up page where you just gotta you know what I mean. No. Yeah. So here's the scenario that I wanted to explore was the Eagles are interested in Zach Wilson, but they did acquire an extra first round pick from the Miami Dolphins today. And I wanted to explore the fact that maybe they had conversations with the Jets about moving up to 2, and that they just said, "Yeah, we'll give you a second overall pick if you give us Jalen Hurts and 2 first round picks." Let's just explore it, Patrick. I know you don't want to touch it with a 10. I know you don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole that I just so happen to use for amateur assassinations. But we can talk about this,
bro. Here's the thing. I'm gonna answer that question that Big Play Slate said. Dude, is it definite to say the Jets are gonna take Zach Wilson because it kind of ties in with it. And then Big Play Slay at the very bottom says, "Why'd you have to be weird, dude? Why'd you have to ask him that?" I know. He kind of didn't take the bait. I was kind of going a different route, a little bit more adulty route here. But I was just totally messing around with that portion of it. But, dude.
What'd you ask me? Did I miss it?
No, about the 10-foot pole. I was like, what do you use that for?
Oh, no, I knew you were going with that.
I know. I know you deflected. Moving on. Zach Wilson, and Mr. DB Dylan. Yes. No. Zach Wilson's going to the Jets. That's a definite.
How can you be so sure? You're a Jets fan. You should know. You should know that this team continuously lets you down. You should know. You should know that your ownership runs that organization.
For sure. If they don't take Zach Wilson, I'm leaving. For sure. I'm permanently a Cardinal fan.
You should have left 10 years ago.
Permanently. Dude, that's I'm hoping my loyalty pays off at some point,
I hope so too. But
Zach Wilson Zach Wilson is going to be a New York Jet. Today's moves.
So wait. So if the Eagles offer you 3 first-round picks and Jalen Hurts for number 2, or 2 first-round picks and a third this year, you're going to tell me that and then number 12, you're going to tell me that you wouldn't take that?
Here, you would think about it.
There's nothing to think about. What are you talking about?
If you give me a 2 first-round pick, and then something else,
we give you a conditional. If we give you the Colts conditional and our first-round pick. No. Wait. No. Let me finish First off, Carson Wentz is going to earn them a first-round pick, and you know it. Let me finish this trade. Let me finish this trade, please. Jeez, Nancy, where's Sid?
I don't want it.
Yeah, the Colts conditional, our first-round pick next year, and then number 12 this year plus Jalen Hurts.
I want a 12, and I would want 2 first-round picks that's guaranteed, not a conditional. I would want the Eagles 2022 and Eagles 2023 and Jalen Hurts, and I would consider that trade. I mean you're talking about the Niners team that traded their 2 first-round picks and a third rounder and their number 12 to move up to 3. You know what I mean?
Okay, so fine. So 12, and then one of our first rounders next year and a 2023 and Jalen Hurts.
Right. And then I would do that. I would do that deal.
I would do that too, because we have 3 first rounders next year and we can easily get all that back.
I would do that deal.
I would do it too.
But knowing that they're not going to offer me that, I'd be okay with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is worthy, in my opinion. And then
he's going to be hit by. I said what I said.
Right, and then that pro day was just absolutely ridiculous. The amount of the type of pro day that he's had, and then he fits in with Robert Saleh's system really well. You know what I mean? And then just he had a huge pro day, and then his interview went really well. He did come out and say that obviously you have to say this because the Jets are in a prime position to take him. But he did say that he would love to come play for the Jets. I mean, you have to take him. But if the Eagles throw me that offer, hypothetically, I would take it.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's no question. Here's the thing: the reason why we come up with these scenarios is because when it comes to these guys, the quarterbacks, obviously you guys know this, is when you find your guy, you go and you get your guy. You go and you get your guy. And if the Eagles ever thought that Zach Wilson was their guy, and I feel like they did want to make that move, they should at least try. And so at that point, it would be about convincing the Jets that Jalen Hurts could be their guy. And Mac Jones could be their guy. I don't know. Whatever it is, whatever it takes. I don't know. I feel like the Eagles wanted to move up for Zach Wilson, so they thought that was going to be their guy. You see where I'm going? Like they thought that now this has created a whole other topic. This has created a whole other fucking topic. They thought that Zach Wilson was going to be their guy. And they're not going to go and continue and try to get Zach Wilson? This actually makes me upset. They're not going to continue and try and get Zach Wilson. And they thought that he was the fucking guy to lead their franchise for the next 10 years? You see where I'm going with this, don't you? Patrick?
Sorry, I don't know if you heard anything I said, but I think that at this point that they know that the Jets are so settled on Zach Wilson that they have no choice but to move on. You know what I mean? But you
were muted.
I don't know.
You were muted the entire time.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I just think that the Jets, I think the Jets are taking Zach Wilson and they know that. So I think they just had no choice but to move on. I think it's pretty clear that the Jets, with everything that went on, especially and everything that's coming out, I think it's pretty clear that the Jets wanted to commit to him. I'm sure they've all explored options with all the teams that's interested. I think every team knows that how this is going to play out. Like I said, I think the Jets are going to take them. So. But yeah, I mean, I give kudos to the Eagles though. They did do everything they could to get their guy.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That's my point.
Well, here's the thing: if the Jets ultimately said no, then they can't do anything about it.
Well, I know that, but that's the thing. The Eagles have, I know that, but that's the thing is like it's upsetting to an Eagles fan, any organization really, is like, look, we've succeeded in going to go and get our guy before. We know what it takes. They clearly thought that Zach Wilson was going to be their guy. And that's what you do. When you see a guy and you think he's going to be the guy for you, then you go and get him. It's that simple. You have I mean, look, the Cowboys did it for the Cowboys. The Cowboys traded away Herschel Walker, or they traded for Herschel Walker. How'd that trade go down? They traded away Herschel Walker, right?
I don't recall. I think they traded for him.
Okay, they traded they traded the entire draft class for Herschel Walker. The Falcons traded their entire draft class to get Julio Jones. You go and you get the fucker. It's that simple. It's not about saying no. You think the Jets are going to turn down what the Eagles could offer them? That's my point.
Well, yeah, no, I get it. It's just that's just what I'm saying. I just if I were the Jets, I just value it so much. Like I don't think that I honestly don't even think the Eagles are gonna. I don't think the Eagles are gonna accept what I want the Eagles to pay me. I don't want the Eagles to give me. Like, I don't think the Eagles are willing to pay me Hurts and 2 first rounders. You know what I mean? So, if I were the Jets, I would just hold my position that high. And then like shoot for the stars because I'm sold on Zach Wilson. And then like if someone's willing to give me a boatload of stuff, then I'll take it. Yeah, but if not, I wouldn't.
That's the thing. They thought they should. That's the point. They should, and the Eagles know what it takes to go get their guy. That's the point. They know they should because they know what it takes to go get the guy. 2 first-round picks and Jalen Hurts, if they think Zach Wilson is their guy, is not a lot at all. Is not a lot at all. But here, let me go ahead and do this. Big Play Slay says 30 subscribers. Congratulations, buddy. I knew you can make it, DB. Now let's get to 100 subscribers. Thank you, man. I wasn't going to say anything until 50, but I couldn't have done that without you guys. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal. And you guys coming in here every single day when we've been on, whether we've been weird, crazy, or whatnot, or tired, or crazy. I'll say it twice because Patrick knows I'm completely insane. And I couldn't have done it without the beloved Patrick J. You guys know, he's absolutely phenomenal. His contributions since he's been on here with me and have been absolutely invaluable for sure. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate everybody always coming on here. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we just really like the community, just albeit like even if it's like really small right now. But I mean, even if we have like 1 or 2 more people, or 100, it's just fun just talking about the game that we like. So, yeah, thanks for coming in, guys.
AJ Styles, welcome, my man. You made it. So happy that you made it, dude. So happy that you made it. Yeah, we've been talking about Zach Wilson all chat long. It looks like he's going to the Jets. But I think we're taking Mac Jones. You know what's interesting about the Mac Jones talk? Just so that everybody knows this. AJ Styles talked about Mac Jones because he saw the mock draft put out by CBS Sports. But that was Mac Jones being taken at 6 by the Philadelphia Eagles. So AJ Styles, we got to give him credit for the Mac Jones talk. But I had the intuitive feeling yesterday, but we still have to wait for it to happen, obviously, but get my drift?
I get your drift.
Okay. Waiting for somebody to say something.
Sorry, guys. I had this like work email that just came up. So
a work email. I gotcha.
Hey man, boys gotta earn some bread,
Boys gotta earn some bread.
Yeah,
I'll give you some fucking bread. You want some fucking bread? Yeah, some blueberry muffins.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, you guys know I don't do it professionally, but I studied music in college. Like I said, it doesn't pay bills a whole lot. But if you guys need jingles written or anything like that, just hit my line. I got you guys.
Jingles.
I can write jingles.
I know you can. I know you can write jingles. I know for a fact you can write jingles.
Dak is king. When he said y'all are the shit, I thought he was like talking crap, but I think he meant the best. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, say AJ, Joe Flacco did sign. He is on the roster. And I think he's going to be absolutely phenomenal for the team. I think he's going to bring a wealth of experience, my guy. For sure. For sure. Dak is King says, did you guys read what I said earlier? Dak, you said a lot.
Dak?
You said a lot, buddy.
You got highlighted a lot.
You got highlighted a lot too.
You have to be a little bit more clear. What do you want?
Oh yeah, Flacco is. I think he went to. Yeah, he is. He's not a hometown guy. He's not from. I don't think he's from Philadelphia, PA. I think he's from Delaware, actually.
Yeah,
but,
I think he's a South Jersey guy. But yeah, I did. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he went to Delaware State though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He did sound very excited to be playing for the Eagles. I did see that press conference if that's what he's talking about. But yeah, he said all the right things. I mean, like I said, he's a veteran. He knows how to go around this. He did say that he wants to represent the city of Philadelphia. He wants to represent the team in front of his jersey, and he's excited too. Important thing was I think he echoed what DB said, that he wants to come in and compete. Yeah, I mean, regardless of what his role is, I think he's a great addition for a team.
I agree. Big Play Slay says Mac Jones scouting grade for me, low tier starting quarterback. He's underrated, deep passer that's able to lay the ball up into adequate spots for for the perimeter targets as an anticipatory thrower he's well above average. Yeah. Yeah, he's going up against top defensive cornerbacks. He is well above average. Look, he's underrated. He is underrated. He's underrated. This is why we're going to do a lot more in-depth stuff about Mac Jones. This is exactly why we're going to do a lot more stuff about in-depth about Mac Jones.
Right.
We really are, because I feel like he is gonna be one to watch. I feel like he's gonna be the stock watch. He's gonna have the. How did he do at his pro day, Patrick? Everybody was so enamored with Devontae Smith. Well, Devontae Smith didn't participate, from what I read, but Harris did. Waddle did, right?
Right. He was so. He had a solid workout, but it wasn't anything like eye catching, like the other guys. You know what I mean? But he had a pretty good day. Nothing spectacular. But he had a really decent day. Decent's a good word for it. But the important thing that Big Play Slay said that I agree with is that he says adequate spots for perimeter targets. I think he actually does more better than adequate. He sets up screen passes really well. I think the most important thing about Mac Jones is he throws a really catchable ball, and that might not be the most sexiest thing to see, but that's an important thing for a quarterback.
Does he, Patrick? Does he throw real? Does he throw real?
He throws some real catchable balls, dude.
Is it not the sexiest thing to see? Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Should I get closer to the microphone? Are you sure?
see, Big Play Slay. It's not me that's being weird. Listen to this guy.
I'm completely off the fucking wall. You know this about me.
What was I saying? Yeah, he throws catchable balls, and he displays a really good sense of timing on his passes. And he's really accurate. He's got a really good pass placement, and that he's a true field general. But yeah, he does not come with like negatives. He lacks arm talent. He cannot really drive passes downfield like Zach Wilson did in his pro day. He obviously is not as mobile as you want him to be, and but he does have a lot of like solid like grades up on him. He does have a lot of positives that you can work with. He's your prototypical pocket passer. And he does a good job with it. He just can't throw it down the field like most guys can. But like I said, he's really accurate, and he can really throw that. His pass placement is the best. He can really he makes a really good decision that he puts throws where only his receivers can get, which is really underrated part of his game in my opinion.
Yeah, and Big Play Slay just said Jones isn't a pass that will make a living creating off-script plays outside of structure, but he has enough mobility to take advantage of the grass offered to him. Yeah, and that's and that's a great point. But that's what quarterbacks do. That's kind of what you don't necessarily you don't necessarily want that. You do want them to have enough mobility, to be able to take advantage of the grass in front of you, like for example, and again, I'll say this, I'm only using them as reference points, just because they are the kind of top guys to be able to do it. Is Patty Mahomes doesn't run all the time. We know that. Aaron Rodgers doesn't run all the time, but he does when he needs to. He's great at that. Aaron Rodgers is great at taking advantage when he needs to and knowing when to do it. And Patrick Mahomes, it comes intuitively to him, and he's great at it too. And if this guy can get that down, I do believe he has a lot of potential. But again, I can't. I'm not gonna say everything there is to say and chalk up all of my opinions about Mac Jones in one stream. Like I said, I definitely want to see what comes of him over the next month or so. And if we draft them, guys, I'm really excited about quarterbacks coach Brian Johnson. I really am. And I think that will work wonders. I think he did a phenomenal job with Kyle Trask. think he did a phenomenal job with Kyle Trask, and I think, and we can pretty much all say that Mac Jones is better than Kyle Trask. Can we not say that, Patrick?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that.
Absolutely. There's a huge drop off between Mac Jones and Kyle Trask. So I like to argue personally that I like Mac Jones better than Justin Fields, but you know, that obviously is up to a reviewer, I guess. So
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, guys, they talk shit about Patrick Mahomes coming out of college. I'm not saying he's gonna be Patrick Mahomes, but I'm just saying that like they get it wrong. Analysts get it wrong, and so do other experts. So there's that too. But guys, unfortunately, you know, it has come to that time. It has come to that time today, and I am so sorry that it's come to that time because I do want to keep talking to you guys. I do love talking to you guys. I love having you guys on, just as much as Patrick J loves having you guys on, and I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. Because guess what, guys? It's Friday, and we can come on here at the normal time tomorrow. Because I don't have work. Patrick J can be on at 3:30. And we will get some last minute comments in right before we do end this. So calm down, big play Slay. It's gonna be okay, buddy. Let's go ahead. But I do appreciate all you guys being on here today. Jones is the type of passer that'll need the 3 P's: playmakers, play caller, and protection. Agreed. And that's
absolutely agree.
That's what it takes to nurture a franchise quarterback. That's simple. Howie Roseman should learn his lesson by now.
I absolutely agree with that statement. And then I think the Eagles, if they do draft Mac Jones, I'm so sorry to cut you off. I think they did put themselves in that position to give him all those 3 Ps. So I think regardless, it's up to them to make it right with their assets, but they definitely did put themselves in a good position to do so. That's it.
Exactly. But as you guys know, this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles, live with Patrick J. Thank you guys again for being with us today. Tomorrow, we will continue our AFC deep dive. Our AFC, where did we leave it off at? I don't even remember.
We left off with AFC West, so I think what do we got left?
No, we finished the AFC West. It's AFC South. The Colts.
Oh yeah, because we did East, right?
Yeah, we did East, and we did the Steelers. Yeah, we did the East and we did the North.
And then we did the West too. Then we just I think we're in the last
one. The West. We just
we're on the last one, guys. AFC South. So
AFC South.
Yeah,
and
good.
Then as you guys know, obviously, rumors, free agency, trades, all the above. We're gonna hit you with crazy shit. But anyway, thank you guys so much. DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles, live with Patrick J. I will see you guys tomorrow, 3:30 tomorrow, guys. Mountain Standard Time. Have a beautiful evening. Stay safe. Stay healthy. One love. Go Birds, baby.